Hello, we are live. Welcome to day 3 of the Start Your Zazzle Business Challenge. I'm Elke, and you are?
I'm Jen.
Oh gosh, the two of us are here to help you become a Zazzle designer, and we've had an incredible 2 days already. This is day 3 of a 4-day challenge. If you missed the first couple of videos, they're there for you to watch again as replays. We are so excited to get into this part of the challenge. First, we helped you set up or figure out your niche. Then we helped you decide on your store name. And then we helped you actually set up your store and your account on Zazzle. So today is all about making your first product and posting it for sale. And it's going to be heavy on the tutorial, but we are going to do a little presentation. We'll go check in on you to see how you did with opening up your store, and then we'll get right into the tutorials. So welcome, and just let's say hi to each other. We're here to see who's on. And well, we want to welcome you if you're absolutely brand new. We'll give you more of an introduction in a few minutes as to who we are and why we're doing this. And then, but we want to make sure that you are ready as well to hear and listen to everything, because it's going to be golden. The idea of this challenge is to start you from scratch and get you going and make your first product on Zazzle. And then tomorrow we're going to give you a whole bunch of information on, like, we're actually doing a mini masterclass that will teach you the 3 mistakes to avoid when starting your Zazzle business. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
So all of this is to help you get started on Zazzle quickly, easily. What I like to say is start and scale fast. And there's no point in trying to do this on your own if you can get the help, right? And that way you'll get going faster, deciding whether this is something for you. If it is for you, why not just get started and get going? There are students of ours that are making $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and that is incredible. It's something that we can't claim as a given because we can't make any income claim statements. But on the other hand, we have had that experience with our students, and we are so thrilled for them, so that we can help you also get to there if that's what you want. Now, Jen's just doing a few more things in the background here because we have a new studio set up, and that's a little bit why we were a little bit late. We need the mic to be positioned in a little bit better spot so you can hear us. And that's going to be the most important thing, so that we can make sure that you hear and see this, because this is going to be a huge tutorial, and we need to get you to be able to hear and to see everything. So thank you so much for your patience. Okay, we've got Cass on again, and Jacqueline, welcome. Jacqueline already has questions. This is awesome. We're going to get into there's going to be a question part in a minute. So remind us if we don't get back to your question, because we want to just start it formally so that everyone who's on the training gets a chance to understand what we're here and doing. Okay, so let's get started with the slideshow, and then we will get, I just want to make sure that I'm on the right spot before I start. Okay, so now we're going to StreamYard screen share, and we'll get this party started.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, and I forgot to remove the banner again. I apologize. This is something that's new for StreamYard, and we're so excited to have that option, but I keep forgetting that it's on. All right. So you want to see the whole slideshow for sure. All right. So now we're going to do this and this. Okay, there, we're all set to go. All right. So today is day 3 of the Start Your Zazzle Business Challenge. It's all about design your first product and post it for sale. So by the time you've done this challenge today, you're going to know how to do that, and you're going to go do this as your homework, and we're going to be so excited to hear back from you tomorrow to see if you've posted your first product for sale. So we are Jen and Elke Clarke. We have been working on Zazzle for over 13 years, and we have just really enjoyed the ride. We have really struggled at the beginning when we first started, because there were no mentors, there were no coaches, there were no courses, there were no programs. The internet was not even a place where people wanted to buy. They thought it was sketchy. So we've come a long way in the last 13 years. because now everybody just shops online and everybody just goes, oh, you can make money online? Sure. Whereas back then, people thought we were crazy when we said, let's do, like, we're going to make money online. It was only after we started making like 6 figures consistently year after year that people started going like, what is this thing that you're doing online? I want to know more about it. And so in the process, we have developed our skills as creatives to also be able to basically manage and thrive and grow in our businesses on Zazzle. And Zazzle is the platform that we use. We talked about that in day 1 of this challenge. If you don't know what Zazzle is, go check out the day 1 video. But it's an online platform where you as a designer can post products for sale virtually. And then when someone purchases it, Zazzle prints it, ships it, bills the customer, and gives you a royalty, which is awesome, right? Like, what a great online business model that is. So we love being our own bosses, working online, setting our own hours, paying ourselves, right? It's up to us as to whether or not we make money on Zazzle. And what we love about Zazzle as well is that it's really suited for our goal to have a perceivable, passive, profitable business. And what that means is that, first of all, it's got to be something that works within our realm of what we want to do as a business. That's the perceivable part, because we want to love it. We want to love it so much. We don't want to hate it. And so we want to be able to perceive ourselves doing this for a long time. And Zazzle has been that, because we've been doing this for 13 years and we haven't stopped yet. We are still each of us doing our own Zazzle business, and we are earning money from that. And we want to continue that business because it's very lucrative. Then the passive part is the part that's the most fun for us, because we worked once, like we've been working for 13 years, but we don't work consistently. We work smarter, not harder. We put things into place so that the products sell on their own, and we work very little in terms of hours. In fact, right now we work about 4 hours a month, but we tell our students that at the beginning they should have at least 20 hours a month allocated to their Zazzle business. But if you want to work more, awesome, you get more going faster, right? But the main thing is that passively, our business is working for us rather than us working for our business. And then the profitable part is the part that we obviously really like, because the money that comes out of this business is what allows us to enjoy doing things with our money, because Zazzle is the platform, money is the tool for us to have businesses that allow us to live our dream life. And here you can see a picture of us. We are at the poolside in Australia on the Gold Coast, just checking in on our earnings before we go and check out the pool and the beach, which was right across the street. So that is our dream lifestyle, which we now do. We travel, we do work when we want to. We don't work when we don't want to. We enjoy a lot of things. We are there for our families, and we experience life. And that is the most important thing of this business, because if you're constantly working, even though it's like now online and creative, but you're still working like so many hours, then it's not good for you. And that makes it a lack of, like, not as a perceivable a business as you might want in your setup. And our framework, the perceivable, passive, profitable framework, is the rule and guideline for picking a business that you can really put your teeth into and get that to work. But it's also how we actually manage our business so that it becomes constantly perceivable, that even like a year or two from now, we know we're going to still make money on Zazzle. And it's also passive because it's always working for us. Products that we made 13 years ago are still selling. And then the profitable part is that you have very little in terms of extra costs if you're going to do this business. Basically, your time, your computer, and any graphics you might purchase. Whereas everything else, Zazzle takes care of. So there's not a lot of money involved in running this business, which we love. So what are we going to cover today? Well, as I promised, first a recap of day 2, which I went over day 1, but we're going to talk about day 2 for a second. So, and just check out how you're doing. You can ask any questions about opening up your store. If you had any issues, we'll resolve those. And then we're going to go into 2 tutorials. One will be designing your first product using the design tool. That means we're going to show you just how easy it is to use this design tool so that you don't need a graphics design program. You don't need any other external things other than a computer so that you can be on the internet and you can log into Zazzle. Then the third thing that people really get tripped up on is they make the design, but when they post it, they don't do so well a job. They don't leverage it properly in order to get that product found so it can start selling. And so that's the second tutorial that we're going to work on today. We're going to show you literally how to post the product, but there's a very specific amount of things that you need to do within each of the sections when you're posting the product that are going to make a difference for you when it comes to having your products found in the Zazzle Marketplace and on Google. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is stop the screen share, and we're going to check out the chat and see how you're doing with opening up your store. And while I stop the screen share, I'm just going to get a sense of, just give you some chance to post something in the group to say this is what's been happening. And let us know. I know that Jacqueline's comments is right there. We're going to start with hers. But basically, we showed you yesterday, and if you haven't watched that video, go to day 2 and watch how Jen showed us how to go through this opening up your own store. And now you should have an account and a store open and ready to actually implement the training that we're going to do in this challenge session, so that tomorrow you can say, I've made my first product. I'm so great. I'm awesome. I know what to do. And then you can feel so accomplished. You're going to have so much more confidence and clarity as to how this all works. And you have to start somewhere, right? So making your first product is where you start. All right, so Jacqueline has a question. She tried to open up her store, but had a problem with her store name. I entered most of the name when it said name was available, but would not let me put in the entire name. How many letters can you have in the store name? Okay, so I don't actually know the number, but yeah, obviously there is a limit because of the URL and all that stuff. It has to do with all this stuff in the background. But let me just see. What do you think? Do you have an idea?
I'm
I
gonna
think
look
it's
it up.
like 25. Like, it is a long amount. So I'm
Store names
surprised.
can be 6 to 20 characters long.
Okay, there we go.
And I will put it in the chat here.
Yeah. Oh, and thank you. Someone said beautiful studio. We're working on it. We had an office all set up because we were going big time, right? But then COVID-19 hit, and we're all working from other circumstances other than what we had as our office. So now we have to make up a new studio, which is not a problem. Okay, so then let's see. Anyone else have any questions on Facebook or anything? We don't have any comments here. If not, we'll move forward with the tutorial.
Yeah, I think also we've had one of our team members messaged us and said that Facebook seems to be having some problems with streaming. There are 14 people online with us right now.
Now 19, but that's
but we've
YouTube,
got
right?
some people on YouTube, some people on Facebook. So hopefully I'm sending out some emails and messages. If you are able to watch the replay and you haven't been able to join us live, then ask your questions and we will pop back on and answer them later. But tell us what you experienced with opening up your store. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for asking that question or talking about it, because this helps us help you better, right? And so if anybody else is online and they have tried to open up their Zazzle store, or maybe you've already opened up your Zazzle store way back when and you have now decided that you want to open up a new store, or you are considering a new store name, give us some more information on what's happening with you as your Zazzle journey progresses throughout this challenge, because we really want to know your story and where you are at.
Yeah.
Stephanie says, do you recommend putting the same design on many products? Also, what's the best categories to use?
Haha. Well, you're seed planting for next week, because we're holding a second challenge, which is going to be scaling your Zazzle business, which is what we're going to cover 2 of the days. One is going to be all about what do you put on the design, and also the other is all about categories and how to set up your store. But we can give you a little bit of a short answer here. The same design in many products. Yes, that's the whole point. It is if you are making a design up and it's suitable for other products, not just putting it on because, but if it actually makes sense and it's something that people would probably want to buy, using that other product and with your design, then the answer is definitely a yes. And what are the best categories to use? That's another thing that is very dependent on your store, what your objective is with the store, and how you want your customer to have a customer journey within your store. Plus, it is also very important for you to set it up so you can use your store, because ultimately your customer is only an aspect of the whole buying experience. It's you that's setting it up to help your customer have their buying experience. And if you are not so clear on where you're supposed to put things, when you start to publish things and you're into your 100th product, 1000th product, if you're not organized, you're not going to be too happy. It's going to be a big mess, and it's going to be very difficult for you to fix that organization later. So right from the get-go, it's really important to set up your store categories in a way to help your customer flow through in your store, but also for you then to understand where your products are so you can manage all of those products. All right, anyone else, or should we go into your tutorial?
Let's go into the tutorial.
Okay. All right, so this is a live tutorial, and Jen is going to be working on doing this online with our sample store. Now, the sample store is a store that Jen and I have set up in order for you and for our course members and for experiences like this where we do challenges, for you to see how products are made and provide certain examples and interesting things about how to set up your Zazzle store. However, it is still a proper Zazzle store, and we earn money from these products, so they're not there for you to copy. And when we're doing these design challenges and we're showing you a design, it's you do not do the same design. You understand what the thing is that we're doing, like you're writing like some text down, or you're creating a design with elements like floral patterns or whatever. That's the idea. So now you go make your own. If it's the exact same design in the exact same placement, exact same fonts, that's copying, and that's copyright violation. And the first thing we need to help you with is that you don't want to get kicked off of Zazzle, right? You want to make this your business. You want to earn money doing this. So the first thing to do is not copy other designers, even the sample store that we have. And I know that some students have done that. Probably not because we've not really explained it properly, but we also feel like you have probably just tried it. But the idea is that you can't sell those as your own. You have to hide them or delete them because those are not yours to sell.
Mhm.
All right. So then let's move forward. What happened to our power cord here? Okay. We've got to make sure Jen has enough juice to make sure the whole tutorial gets shown. Then we're all good to go. All right. So
super. Okay, we're going to screen share, and then if you have any questions, I've got the chat open.
Do you want me to man the chat while you're doing this? Because this is probably going to be more. It's all Jen now because she's going to do the designing part. I did the first 2 days, and she was doing the manning the chat, so I'll do the same. And if you're on YouTube, you have YouTube open?
Yeah, it's right there.
Awesome. Then we have both chats. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to screen share.
Take a break in between publishing it, right? Just to see if people have questions, but otherwise we're all good to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. So we are on Zazzle.com, and like we spoke about yesterday, if you are joining us new today, we recommend that you design on the .com website, which is here, Zazzle.com, because your majority of customers will be coming from the North American area. But if you do have customers from other countries such as Spain, Germany, even France, then Australia, and some places in South America as well, then there is those websites will be reflected within the purchases, and then your customer will come through that website anyway, and all of your products that you create on the .com website are transferred over to that website as well, and it's translated into that language if they do speak a different language there. And so you don't have to worry about populating all of these different websites. And when you click on this, or when you hover over this little United States flag, you get all of the other countries that that Zazzle is available in. And for example, you don't have to, as I said, create products in all of these. They're already populated because Zazzle takes your product, does the translation of the title and the product name, etc., and then also and populates it. So if someone comes and buys from France, your stuff will be already translated. That's what I want to say, or Germany, whatever. So you don't have to worry about that. Always design on the .com website. Okay, so then now when we're going to create our first product, what we want to do is click on this little hamburger button. I'm already signed in, and you can always make sure that you're signed in when you see, there's this weird glitch happening here. When you see this little profile picture here, you want to make sure that you're signed in, because we do have some students who have had problems where they've created products. Everything is all amazing and beautiful, but then they realize that they're not signed in, and you can't actually then take that product and sell it. And you can't sign in and then resell it afterwards. You have to be signed in and create the product, because it won't be able to be published for sale. Just a tip, because we've had problems with that before. So you want to click on this little hamburger or 3-line button here, and you've probably explored the website. So all of these are items and products that have been created by other designers. But what we want to do is click on create your own, and then also then all create your own. Today's tutorial, I'm going to be doing a cell phone case. I like to design cell phone cases in the tutorial because it shows you that there are, it gives you an idea of what an easy product is to create. There are some products on Zazzle that have a much more complicated template. For example, a folded card, you have 3 different areas, the front, the middle, and the other side in the middle that you can design on. And then also, for example, envelopes. If you want to go on Zazzle and explore all of the different possibilities on the products, then go and do that. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to be doing something very simple. So when you click on custom, create your own, all of the create your own, you'll see a long list. You can go down and click on this. It gives you a majority of the items, but then at the bottom you can see that there's a view all button, because these are not all of the items. Zazzle offers like thousands of different products for you to design on, and you need to go and explore that. And you can already see that, for example, within home and weddings, they already have 1,000. That's 540 plus 596 plus all of these other ones. So in each of these departments, you can click on that to actually hone in and see what products and items they offer within that category in that department. But we're just going to click on iPhone cases here. And then I'm going to select probably one of the newest ones. We'll do the iPhone X here, and then, or we'll do the XR. So we'll click on the XR, and then you'll have underneath iPhone XR, you have all of these different types of phone cases based on the actual case type or the the production company that they use. For example, they have LifeProof, they have OtterBox cases, then they have the simplistic designs. One of our tips for our students is that you should always create the cheapest product available. And I don't mean cheapest in a bad way. The product is obviously very high quality, but you want to be able to compete in the Zazzle marketplace. So if you're creating the most expensive version of the iPhone case, then that price is going to be reflected within the marketplace, and then you'll be limiting yourself to the amount of customers that you're going to be able to sell to. Because when you create the OtterBox, for example, or these the OtterBox cases, you can see that they're basically double or almost a little bit more than double of the Casemate Barely There case. So if you have a $70 iPhone case posted for sale when the majority of the iPhone cases are $30, then yours is obviously going to be seen as much more expensive and maybe not sold as often. What I would do is make multiple different products. So you would create the Casemate and then also the OtterBox, but use the same design. That's more difficult and much more information, which we go into more in the Profit by Design Academy. But that's just a little tidbit for anyone designing on the marketplace, that you always want to choose the most least expensive one so that you can compete within the marketplace first off to design on. You can also see here that when they click down, you can change the type of iPhone, the Apple case, and then also here you can choose the different styles. So this Casemate one, because it's made by Casemate, they offer a Barely There type and a tough one. So you can also upgrade, so to speak, within this style. With the OtterBox, they'll have different availabilities as well based on the types of products that they sell on the Zazzle platform. Okay, what we're going to do now is click on Add Image or Add Text. Either one is whatever. the same. It opens up the design tool so you don't have to worry about if you're going to actually add text or add an image. But what it does is it pops open this design tool. And if you haven't seen this before, then I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour around what it is. And then we're going to show you how you can easily design something that uses only fonts and text and doesn't actually use images. If you want to use images and be more creative, then that's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and do that. Always make sure that the images you're using are not copyright, they're your own, or they're using or you're putting an image on it as a template using copyright free or royalty free images, because you don't want to be in violation of copyright law. So for example, you can't just go onto Google, search funny dog photos, and then put a funny dog photo that you found from Google onto this product. That is not okay. And you have to make sure that you're okay with, like, you're abiding by that, because some people don't understand that. And it's not that you don't want to be kicked off of Zazzle because of something silly that you made a mistake on, because I know that some people aren't aware of that you're not able to use random images off of the internet. If you're going to if you're going to use images, make sure that you own them or that they are from specific websites that allow you to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're just going to add text here. This is the easiest way to start designing. You go on to you can see on the layers here on your design tool, there's text, elements, icons, background, my files, and then here there's a button that says layers. You're going to add text first of all, and what we're going to do is we're going to say hello, because we're making a cell phone case. Here, as soon as they add the text, you're not going to see anything on the left-hand side until you click the button here that says layers, and then it's going to give you the pop-up that shows you what's actually on the cell phone case right now. So we have the first layer of text that I created. Here, I can also change the background color, and I'm going to make it a purple. And then you always have to go back to your layers to see what's happening on your actual cell phone case. When you click, for example, the background and you change the background, just use colors. When you add these backgrounds, they're not actually available for you to sell. That's more of the customer aspect of things, where they can come on and the customer can choose one of these when they're editing a product. I would stay away from the popular backgrounds, because that makes the product that you're creating unavailable for you as the designer to sell. So just choose the colors. Now, as you can see, my text, because it's black, it's not really available, like you can't see it very well. So I'm going to pop over here on the right-hand side, and this is where you can actually edit the layer of text. So here, if I made a mistake in my spelling, or I wanted to change the word, for example, to not have the exclamation mark, I click the edit text button, and then you can add whatever you want in there. Then here, this is where you choose your type of font. It's defaulted to a font that I've used previously, but when you click on the font button here, you get the option to have all of the fonts. Zazzle has like literally hundreds of different fonts for you to choose from. All of them are available for you to use. You don't have to worry about the copyright licenses. Zazzle's taken the time and purchased these for you to use and sell your products with. The fonts here then are divided into different categories. So if you wanted to find just all of the handwriting and calligraphy, or if you just wanted to look at all the script, decorative, etc., so you can find a font that really works for you. I'm going to find one that's a sans serif, and I'm going to make it Empire because I like this one. When you want this to collapse, all you have to do is just click on the font button again. Here, this is where you're going to choose your color. And I'm going to choose white because I want it to show up on my purple background. I'm going to pop that down. This is kind of cool because they give you options for you to choose out of the most used colors or the colors that are available on Zazzle. It shows you your recently used colors, and it actually pulls them from other designs that you've recently created, which is really neat. And then also, if you, for example, had an image and you wanted to match your font color to an image, color in an image, you would use the color picker, and then this thing pops up and you can actually select the colors that are on the image. But obviously, because I just have purple and white, it doesn't show me many color options. Here you can also implement the hex code if you know the hex code that you want to use. Then I'm going to pop that back down. Here's where you can manipulate the size by actually adding in the numbers if I want to make it bigger. Or you can use the plus and minus buttons because it's font and text. You have these two options available to use the minus and plus, or you can do it by the actual font number size. Here, the justification is on the center, right, and left. So for example, if your design, you wanted your text to always be right justified no matter what, then you would have that there. And you would justify it though. So if you use it as a template, which I'm going to show you in a couple moments, then the text will always be right justified, even if somebody who's a customer comes in and changes the word hello to something different. Here you can rotate it, which is kind of fun. I'm going to keep it straight, but here you're also able to use their increments of 45-degree angles, or you can use their actual number base. So you can put in a certain degree that you want it to be. Then here you can flip things all around. I wouldn't want to do that right now because I want to keep mine as the way it is. But if you had an image that you wanted to be flipped backwards or forwards, then you can use that. Here, if you have a specific like grouping of text, for example, and you wanted to anchor it in a spot, then you can click that. That's a little bit more advanced. Here you can play around with the letter spacing. You can drag and drop this little thing here, or you can implement the numbers to have more space between the letters. I'm going to keep mine at 0 because I like that the way it looks. Here also the line spacing. If, for example, you had more text, let's say, hello, Jennifer, you could see that this is where the line spacing comes into play. When you pop between the lines, there's more space and more space. If you ever don't like something that you've just done, there's the undo and the redo button here at the top. So if you make a mistake or you don't know how to delete something, or you're like, oh my gosh, I'm lost, just click the undo button. You can go backwards. Then we've got the curvature. This is really fun because when Zazzle first came out, they didn't have this. So we were actually creating Photoshop files with the text that was curved because we wanted it to follow the curved pattern. So you can just play around with here. Because I have a specific type of text, it works a little bit better with certain fonts than others. Let's just show you really quickly with this one here. You can see that the curvature is better and easier to define. And also it works well too when you have a longer amount of text. So once again, I'm going to say, hello, Jennifer. And you can see that here, it's easier for it to be curved. This will also depend on your, like if you wanted to do a bit of a rotation thing, here you're going to play around with it, and it's always going to be dependent on the type of font that you're using, the size of font that you're using, and the way that the text is placed. But I'm going to go back to my original, which is hello. I'm going to change my font back to Empire. And then I'm going to remove my curvature because I don't want it to be curved. It also has something to do too with your alignment or your justification. So if sometimes your curving looks wonky, it's because you've actually got it either right or left justified, and you need to have it centered too so that it makes it even on both sides. Okay, so this is where we're going to come into making it a template object. This is where when the customer comes and sees your product and they see the word hello, then they're going to be able to change that word to something else. And you've probably seen many products on Zazzle that have names or monograms or even sayings, and then the customers are able to come in and completely change that. And that's what the beauty of Zazzle is that each and every single product can be customizable individually for the customer. If you ever click out by accident, and you just saw me click the done button, and then you come to this view of the product, you can always get back to the edit menu or the template, the design tool by clicking edit, and then this will pop up again. Once you see that version of, and this is like the done button here, if you see this, it doesn't mean that it's posted for sale. You actually have to click the sell button first. So you're always able to go in and edit. If you want to see the preview of what your product actually looks like in the mock-up or the in situ, you can click the preview button here on the right-hand side at the bottom. And then you can click the different versions to see the different views of the product as well. So here at the bottom, I still have my text selected, right? And I want to make this a template object. So I'm going to click on this little toggle here at the bottom. And here you can see that it's now made it a template, and it says the product page label is text1 and the URL parameter name is text1. Don't change these unless you know and are more advanced, and we teach this in the Profit by Design Academy, and all of our students know how to edit these things. You can change the product page label if you want to, but if you're just starting out, keep both of these the same, because if you mix them up and you actually change this one, it will not make your template usable and it will mess up your product. So you don't want that. Then you're going to click the done button. And what I always like to do is, as soon as I make a template, I want to click the done button so that I can see that it's working properly, because I've made many mistakes in the past where I create a template, I think it's all good, then I post it for sale and I realize that it actually isn't all good and something's messed up or it doesn't work properly. So as soon as you do that, you can see that this has now popped up and there's something that says personalize this template. And here you're going to be able to now change this wording, and the customer is going to be able to change this wording. So actually, if I wanted to really, instead of saying the word hello, I want to say the word Jennifer, I can type that in and it'll populate it or reflect that on the actual product here right away. So I know in my mind that my product works as a template and I can actually post it for sale. And anyone who's a potential customer can come in and say, personalize this template, and that will be changed. To make sure that you understand that what I just did here, where I changed the word Jennifer, if you actually do want to post it for sale with the word hello, for example, you have to now go back in to the personalize or the edit, customize further, and you have to change it to the actual word that you want to post it for sale on, because since I've changed it before actually posting for sale, the product has now reflected the word Jennifer. So just make sure that you do that, because if you're thinking that you're going to be posting your original word, go back and change it, because there is a disconnect there. So if I actually now want to make sure that it's posted with the word hello, I'm just going to change that and make sure everything is all good. One last thing in terms of templates, you want to make sure that your text bounding boxes are always on the green lines. Text bounding boxes is this thing that's the white dotted line right here. And as you can see, as I click and drag it, my words or my letters change and morph. It's because that means that whenever a customer comes in and changes the template, that box is where the words or the letters will be confined to. So if the box is this small and I drag it to be this big and I say done, and then I say personalize this template, and I add exclamation marks in, for example, it's bumping it down because it's only going to be in that space where I've defined the box to be. So it will always move down following the text. So if you want your text to go sideways or to bump out to the entire shape of the iPhone, you need to make sure that your text bounding box is actually towards all the way to the green. So that means that even if they add those 4 exclamation marks or they change their word to be the name Jennifer or whatever they do, then it will bump it out as far as the iPhone. And then if they have additional letters or words, it will bump it down towards the bottom. So always make sure that your text bounding boxes are to the green line if it works with your design. If it doesn't, then obviously you want to make the shape the way that you want it to make it look good. But for general and simplistic purposes, always make sure that it pumps to the green line. Don't go to the blue line, because the blue line is like the curve of the outside of the iPhone, and sometimes that doesn't actually get printed properly. The green line is your safe space, and definitely don't go to the red line. It's a little bit confusing because technically I can drag this to the red line, but don't ever do that, because it won't print properly, and your customer, when they receive your product, won't be happy, or they won't buy, because they realize that when they implement their design, their text, then it actually doesn't work properly and it doesn't look good. If you wanted to now add another layer of text, all you have to do is click on the text box here, add text, and then we can say Jennifer. And because I want to make this now customizable, I want to keep the word hello there. Then I want Jennifer to be at the bottom, but I actually want it to be a little bit smaller. What you can do is you can click on you can see that when you click on each text box, it changes. Right now, they're both the same because it's used my previous sort of like formatting of the text that I used. But each of these are individually edited here on the right-hand side. So when you click on the word Jennifer, what I can do is I can change the text by using these arrows or implementing the number, or I can click and drag and drop too. And so if I want it to be smaller, I'm going to put it in the middle. It's really cool because Zazzle has these things that lock when it shows you that you're actually right dead center in the middle. What I'm going to do now is make sure that my text bounding box is dragged to the green line. And then also I'm going to keep it at center justified because I want their names to be in the middle when they change their names. Now, because they've added another element, you always have to remember to now make it another template, because if you don't, then you're going to always just have the word Jennifer there and the customer isn't going to be able to customize it unless they know how to customize the product further by coming in to this design tool area. So I've clicked now, make this a template object. And as you can see, it now says text 2 because that's different than text 1, which is here. And so everything is all good. If you ever need to, for some reason, go back to your layers and manipulate them to here, you can do that as well here. Going a little bit above and beyond, if you want your design placement of the cell phone case to be horizontal or vertical, that's where you would change that here. I like to design mine in vertical because that's mostly how people are holding their phones. But if you needed to change the design placement here, we're speaking about an iPhone case right now, but the design tool is the same on every single product. What is different is going to be what you see here, obviously, because it's going to be a shape of a different product. And then also if there are different areas where you can design, like front and back, for example, or inside and outside, you'll see in this layer option an area that says front, and then it'll give you the what's in the front, and then there's another area that says back, and then another area like where the layers are on the back. You want to make sure that if you do have multiple areas where you're designing, that you always make sure that they look proper, because sometimes students also do forget that, for example, an envelope has multiple different areas where you can design, which is on the back and also on the inside. Or if you have a folded card, you're designing on the front, then the middle left, the middle right, and then also on the back too. For the cell phone case, which is why I chose it, is because it's the easiest one and sort of the most easiest in terms of the design space. It only has one side that you can design on, but other products are more complicated. So make sure you remember that. Okay, if I like my design, then I'm going to click the done button. Obviously, I've done a really simple, easy design here that could be perfected in terms of the design style to make it more trendy. I could play with some really cool fonts and make the fonts curved. I could do some really cool things with just fonts. You don't have to have a graphic design program to create a really cool product, or you don't have to have photos or graphic images as well. You can just use the font here. Then I'm going to say, sell it. And after I click on the word or the button sell it, this pops up here. We're going to take a break for 2 seconds to answer any questions.
But if there are, there is one just popped up. Does the item price go up if printing on the inside or the back? No, it doesn't. It's always the price of the item itself, and you can print as much and as little on either side or whatever. It's always just one cost.
Yeah. Okay. So here, this is where you're going to come to post your product for sale. And as soon as you click on that, you're going to be asked to add a title. And we go into much more detail about naming and titling our products, first of all, in the Profit by Design Academy, and then second of all, in our challenge next week. So if you are willing and able to join us, then that'd be really great, because titles are extremely important in terms of SEO. If you don't know what SEO means, it means search engine optimization. And that is how your products are indexed within Google and then also within the Zazzle marketplace. So you need to make sure that the name and the title of your product is fitting for your product, because then it'll help index your product and be found within the space that it needs to be placed on the Zazzle marketplace. So for example, I'm not going to call my title cute dog photo cell phone case because I don't have a cute dog on my cell phone case. I have a purple cute typography cell phone case. So I'm going to name it that. I'm going to say, or even simple, let's say simple typography purple. And then I have first name. Oops. Trying to type up on the top here. So what I like to do is copy this. What you don't have to do is actually write in the product name, because as soon as you click off of this text spot, the Zazzle algorithm will pop in the type of product it is. And because it's an iPhone XR case, that means that it is put there at the end of the product name. If you start to type in the word iPhone or case, this algorithm actually won't work and it won't add that extra bit to the end. And you don't want that to happen, because you want to make sure that it's named properly based on the product that you're creating. Here, the marketplace departments are generated for you automatically based on the type of product that you've made, and then also based on the title that you've put in here. Sometimes, for example, if you have a stationery piece and you say birthday card versus wedding, or if you use the word birthday versus wedding, different department tree areas will come up here. If you don't know what the department trees are, they are basically categories of how Zazzle indexes your products. So this is generally automatically generated here based on what your product that you're making and the name or the title. If you don't think that this fits for some reason, like if this was actually meant to be more like a I don't know, something, let's say a wedding invitation, even though it's a cell phone case, you can go in and browse all departments, and then you can select your own department manually. And this is kind of fun to actually go through and look at all the different departments, because Zazzle has so many options available for you to post your products for sale. Not only will you realize where you can put your product for sale at this very moment, but you can get inspiration for additional products that you can create in the future. So for example, if I actually wanted it to be an office and school, because I think it should be an office or a school supply that people have when they go to the office because it's a cool cell phone case, then I would say office and school supplies. Then I would say maybe here desk accessories or calendars and planners, things like that. But because that doesn't actually make sense, I wouldn't do that, because first of all, that's kind of spamming on the Zazzle marketplace. And then second of all, it's not going to get your product sold very well, because customers will not technically be looking for a cell phone case in a binders and folders area within the Zazzle platform, right? This is to help you get your products found by the customers who come to Zazzle. So don't put your products in random places where you think they might be fitting just because you want to make sure that your product gets seen. It's actually going to be doing the opposite. So don't spam and don't put your products in places that they shouldn't fit properly. So I'm going to click on that. If you click on that and later on you feel like you need to change it later on, you can always click the button change. What I like to do is copy my title, and then I use this. I say case. I don't put in the word iPhone, because if they do end up changing this version, maybe they end up buying this design on a different phone case. I don't want to limit my SEO or my search engine optimization to only iPhone case purchasers. Then I'm going to say customize. I can type with your name and text. If you had a photo or if you wanted to add some more information here about what the product looks like, etc., then you would do that. In the Profit by Design Academy, we teach you exactly what you need to say here so that you can optimize your product searchability and also connection with your customer. But I'm not going to go into too much more detail here because this is just a very simple tutorial. But you want to make sure that your description is filled out because it does have that star symbol here. You need to have something in your description. Then you can click here. You can say sell on all designs, all options, this model only. I want to have the most availability for customers to choose different different products based on this design. So I'm going to say all options. Here's when you're going to get into the categories on the Zazzle marketplace as well. This is something a bit different than the department tree, but it's still indexing your product properly. So if you don't have some of these, for example, the events and occasions, I don't think that my cell phone case is particularly involved in one of those. You can leave this blank. The one that you need to fill out is your store category. But for example, if this cell phone case was directed to, let's say, a holiday because I want it to be for a Christmas gift, then I would say holidays, Christmas, and then I would say done. But because it's just like an everyday kind of thing, I would just leave it clear. For the recipient, this is kind of interesting because if it's geared more towards a female or a male, or if it's a gift, or if it's for pets, or if it's for anyone, this is where you would choose that. This helps Zazzle index further so that, for example, when they do some sort of gift promotion or, advertisements for Christmas, when they say like gifts for her and gifts for him, or products for her, products for him, it really helps them determine which products are meant or geared towards certain genders or different people. And I say people, and I mean like pets as well. Because mine can be pretty much for everyone. I would say anyone, or maybe her because its colors are purple and it says Jennifer. Here you can like actually click further and you can see all the different options. So if my cell phone case was actually for let's say a daughter, then I would click that. The more you click down here and the more specific your product is, for example, if you wanted to say best friend, then you would say girlfriend, or, best mom, then you would say mother, or best granddaughter, then you would say granddaughter. But because it's very non-specific, you don't have to go into those levels of who the recipient is. Here, the store category is very important. We're not going into store categories during this tutorial or this challenge. If you want to learn more about store categories, then make sure you join us next week. But basically, your store categories are how you organize your products within your store, not on the Zazzle marketplace, but within your space. And so what we tell our students is to make sure that you have a very broad category at the beginning, and then you hone down just like the department tree, as you saw, that it was like office and school supplies. And then you bump down to the next level and you actually honed in on what the specific office and school supply would be. And then you can keep on jumping down to the next levels. This is based on theme, design, occasion, and also product suite. So we'll be touching more on that next week in next week's challenge. But if you're really interested in learning like everything you need to know about categories and going above and beyond the challenge, we really focus in on that in the Profit by Design Academy. Because my store is new and it's one of our default stores, we don't have as many categories as you might have, but this is how we've broken it down for our students to show them that this is like the main set of categories that we've chosen because they're very generic in general, and this is a great starting place. So occasions, holiday, electronics, home decor, etc. Here, because I have, it's a cell phone case, I'm just going to add it to my new products because I don't actually have a category for electronics. I didn't see that. I'm going to add it to electronics, and I'm just going to add it now to sayings because it's part of, text sayings. I'm going to say done. But that's where you would organize your own store categories so that you can really make sure that that product gets organized properly in your store, because you don't want to come across the problems where you just have a whole bunch of products within your store and you don't have anything organized, right? Okay, so here's where your tags come into place. And if you've been with us for a long time, we always say do your titles and tags. Like titles and tags are the most important besides the fact that it's a really good design. What's up?
Oh, have you done those ones yet?
I spoke about those, yeah.
Oh, but you didn't select them.
No, because I don't think occasions is the.
Yeah, no, but you still go in and select that one for sure. You always select something. So you go other, and then every day, and then you can leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't actually do that.
Yeah, it's always good to put it somewhere in a category, even if it's very generic.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
You're welcome.
So then the tags here are extremely important because you need to make sure that these tags reflect the design. This is kind of where you're telling the Zazzle algorithm what your product looks like. Don't go in here and start putting iPhone case, iPhone XR case, blah, like everything to do with the product, because that's already part of the algorithm. Here is where you want to use words to describe the product. So I'm going to say typography, because I have used fonts for wording. Then I'm going to click the word. I'm going to click the button enter so that it gets added. Then I'm going to say purple because mine was purple. Then I'm going to say name because I had a name. Then let's say saying, quote. Then I'm going to say girly because it's a girl.
You also can say hello.
Hello. Any other ones that you want to add?
Yeah, you can say simple, modern. You can also write all these in one go and then press enter. And so there you can do different things like separate them by commas or quotes.
Yeah. So if you wanted to have a long form tag, then you would put quote and you would say girly, cute.
Girly, cute, or it's not the most. Some of them work better if you do them singly, but if it's like happy birthday or happy 50th birthday,
if you wanted to do
then you can put, because that's a phrase that people would search in with many words, then you can put quotes around it or separate by commas.
Yeah. Oh, that's just something if you wanted to do long-tailed keywords. I would use all 10 of them because that way you are getting the most out of your tags available. These are very simple just because my product is obviously very simple, but if you have a very elegant and much more in-depth product, let's say you have a rustic wedding invitation with sunflowers and wood background and really cool typography and calligraphy, you would use a lot more descriptive words like floral, botanical, sunflower, rustic, country, wedding, save the date, calligraphy, typography, chic, modern. So that way that you can actually now really hone in and make sure that that product is found within the marketplace where it should go. But because I have a very simplistic design and it's very, there's not really too much going on here, I'm going to use more words that are more general, but they do still describe the product. What we like to tell our students is, if you are on the phone describing your product to somebody who can't physically see it, what would you tell them? What words would you use and how would you say it so that you can actually make them visualize what's going on in your design? This is also very important in terms of no spamming. Right here, it says do not spam. So for example, don't stuff words in here trying to make this product come up everywhere in the Zazzle marketplace.
Like if you now said something like Christmas present, birthday present, baby shower present, office supplies, those are all spamming because you're saying, oh, these are all these different uses. But and that's true, they could all be for that use, but then make a product that's very specific for each use rather than saying, oh, it could be used for this, and this, and 10 other things.
Yeah. Okay, then make sure that you do, you keep scrolling down. I know that we're taking a lot of time to do this, but it's very, very important to make sure that your product is published properly.
And we're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done. So we always recommend that you make products that are suitable for G, because this means that it'll show up on the Zazzle marketplace always. It means safe, so you're not using any profanity, you're not using any swear words, you're not saying any derogatory terms, you're not using any material, so to speak, like in terms of photos that are not G-rated. So if you want to have more of an adult-based customer audience, then you would have to click PG-13 or R. This means that your products aren't going to be actually found or promoted on the Zazzle marketplace unless someone signs in and verifies that they're over 13 or over 18. But to be safe and to make sure that your products are well and good and they're found everywhere, and promote it externally as well, always make sure that they're G, unless that's part of your core values as a brand, that you are doing like R-rated humor. That's up to you though, but we always recommend that you do G.
And the designs are G.
Yes.
Right? Like not, yeah.
No, and
don't make an R-rated design a G.
Yeah.
Because that'll be taken off.
Yeah. Here, you always want to make sure that it's public. So in terms of your visibility, these are more complicated, and we get into that more in the Profit by Design Academy, but they're more so for other uses. Always make sure that it's public. Make this product a template. Yes, because since we created templates with the text, you want to make sure that it's a template product.
Yeah.
Show the customize it button, and you want to say yes.
Yeah. And also, there's like a question that's come up. Susan, she basically says, if I choose make this product a template object, will it allow the customer to change my graphic as well as the wording? I would like to protect my downloaded graphic design. The answer is yes, it will allow the person to change it. But you, in the design tool, we didn't show you each layer. When you hover over it on the left-hand side of the layer, when you're in the column or in the row of the text for how the layer is displayed, like whether it has your image, in this case your artwork, then there'll be a little lock on the left-hand side, and you can add that, like you can select that and say lock this image.
Mm-hmm.
There are downsides to that because people can't transfer your images as well to other products, so you might lose sales. But if you're very set on making sure that you are comfortable with what you're doing with your images, then that's the place to do it.
Yeah. And whenever you add an image to Zazzle, customers can change it physically, like they could delete it or they could remove it if you don't do that. However, no one is able to take that image and save it to their computer. Like they can't, somehow download that image and now use it on something else. It has to be on the Zazzle product that you've created or a different version of a different product, but it'll always be within your store. And then if you sell a product with that on it, you will get the royalty, obviously. So it might be, you might have to give us some more information in terms of how you want to protect your image, but you can definitely lock it, and then you won't have any problems with people deleting it or moving it around when they purchase it if they want to customize it further.
Yeah. If you're worried about copyright, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
A little bit beyond what this is, but you can certainly, are you part of our courses? Because we do talk about that. But if not, that's a little bit beyond what we want to show here, just to make sure people can stay with us.
Yeah.
And we also are coming to the hour.
Yeah.
So,
So here's where you set your royalty. We always recommend 10%. Just as a basis so that you're competing within the marketplace. If you're like me at the beginning, you're like, yes, awesome, I can set my royalty to 100 because I want to get all
99,
that. Or 99, 100 doesn't work. 99, then you'll realize that my cell phone case now costs almost $3,000, but I am going to make a really nice royalty. So obviously your price increases when you increase your royalty. If you are ignorant like me at the beginning, where you're like, yes, this is awesome. So make it competitive, because clearly if you set your royalty higher, then your price will be higher. If you are an artist and, like, for example, you've put a really beautiful piece of artwork on the cell phone case and you want to have it priced higher just because you are an artist and you're selling your artwork, you can definitely do that. Because you are the artist, you can always do that, even if you aren't creating perfectly like art, right? I can set this as a higher royalty. I just have to make sure that maybe my sales will be impacted a little bit because my price is higher than the average other cell phone case that's on the Zazzle marketplace. But if you are a well-known designer or artist, you can price your products higher because you have that, I want to say, clout, or that sort of status, right? And the demand.
Yeah. And then there are some things in the user agreement where if you go to 15%, then you're paying royalty or sort of a clawback to Zazzle for the higher percentage. So read the user agreement and decide what works for you.
Yeah.
We stick to somewhere between 10 to 14.99%. And that is that has served us well, and we've made over 1.5 million doing that. So there is no lack of sales if you sell in volume and you make up for that fact that you haven't got that one item giving you, what was it, $2,000?
Yeah, almost $3,000. Let's
That would have
see.
been nice.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the commission on that
I
thing.
know. I'd almost make 2.6 on royalty. Awesome. But yeah, you're able to change this, and you're able to change this to whatever you want. Just make sure that it's priced accordingly to what you want to earn, but then also the prices in the marketplace. Because if someone sees a cell phone case that's designed like this, that I've put on my design, and then it's $60 or $70, but someone else in the marketplace has something very similar priced at half the price, they're more likely going to buy that than mine. So you want to make sure that you're not actually hindering your sales. So here, if everything is all good and you have the right to publish the product because it's your copyrighted design, you haven't stolen any images from someone, and you're within the user agreement, then you can click this checkbox, and then we say post for sale.
Yeah. And we've got a question by Jacqueline on price, but you go with yours first, and we'll get to that one in a minute.
So as soon as you say post for sale, then all this information comes up with, you can email it to a friend, you can go back to your store, you can do whatever. What I just do is I go click on see my product, and that's it. So then you can see that it's all here, and then you can see that it's live. And and then here you can check really quickly to see if the wording that you use for your title and your tags has placed it in the other designs you might like. This means that there are other designs on Zazzle, obviously, and if you've added the right tags or keywords, these products should more or less reflect kind of what you're selling, so that you're in the right grouping, right? Because if all of a sudden, like I mentioned before, I use the tags cute dogs, but I actually don't have any cute dogs on my cell phone case, and underneath here, all these really cute dog cell phone cases pop up, my thing actually isn't properly sorted. And first of all, that's sort of like spamming. And then second of all, my product won't sell, because when customers are coming to Zazzle, they know that they want a cute dog cell phone case. And then all of a sudden they see my purple hello, they're not going to buy mine because it's not tagged properly, and it's not what they're looking for. It's not what they want. So as you can see, my stuff is pretty much well and good. I've got really cool, simple typography, script type things, and I've got some color splashes here and there of purple. So everything's perfect.
Good.
Okay.
You did a good job with your titles and tags.
I know. Thanks. I hope so.
Yes, you did. Well, that was a huge tutorial. Thank you so much for being on and watching all this time.
Yeah.
Are there any questions? We have one from Jacqueline, but that's it. Otherwise, we have two from Jacqueline. Don't apologize for having another question. This is the most important part, is you're interested in running a business, right? You're interested in making money on Zazzle. And so we need to get you the right help, whether that's paid or free. And we're here at this point in the challenge to answer your questions. So don't apologize. It's all right. Okay, so the first question is, how do you make a profit if Zazzle offers a 40% off and you have a royalty at 10%? Because what it is then it's 10% of whatever the price is that Zazzle is reducing. So yes, definitely your royalty will be less at some point, because what it is 40% off of the total cost, and then you still get 10% of that reduced total that the customer pays. Believe it or not, Jen and I make actually more money when people have, when there's sales, than when everything is regular price. And it's a volume. It has to do with volume, and it also has to do with the feeling that's gone with that. Like when you start looking at lack, I'm not going to make as much money because Zazzle has these 40% off deals, and that's just cutting into my profit. But how much profit? Like if you sell something for $10 and it's now 40% off, so now it's $4,
$6,
or sorry, $6, and your 10% is 60 cents, right? Instead of a dollar, you're just losing 40 cents. You're still making 60. Do you see that?
But then also, if you have the quantity, then you're probably going to be selling more than that, right? In terms of the multiples.
Yeah, because there's going to be more people shopping. So because people always come for sales. That's why Zazzle has a sale almost every single day. It is a very tried and true marketing plan. And Jen and I used to feel that way at the beginning. And then we realized because of our sales and our results that, hey, it actually works to our benefit to have these sales constantly, even if we have our stuff set at 10%. Okay, so what's the next question? I've forgotten already. Sorry, another question is...
Here, we've got them also up here too, so if
is there a way on Zazzle to send out announcements that you're opening up a store? Okay, so not specifically on Zazzle, because that's controlled by Zazzle. Zazzle's marketplace, you're allowed to be in their marketplace by posting products, but you personally cannot like communicate with people as a group or as a whole with the customers on Zazzle, because Zazzle is the one that brought them there. However, what you do is you do a lot more in the background. Like you can, if you have a Facebook account or a Pinterest account or an Instagram account, then you, using your followers, can announce that you've opened up a store on all those other social media platforms and then bring the customer to your store, which is awesome. Because then you get to even earn more money, because if you're part of the affiliate program, and especially if you're part of the promoter program, which is something that we highly recommend, we can talk more about that later, but if that's what the case is, then you can actually make 35% more in addition to what you've done as your, or set as your royalty. So that in total, let's say you're set your royalty at 10% and you've got your 35% royalty for being in the promoter program, and you sell one of your own products and you brought it in, like that customer into your products, and they haven't been brought in by another person or Zazzle's marketing, then you get to have 10 plus 35, which is 45% of the total sale, which is really, really nice. In fact, I just made one. I posted that on, who saw that? Who saw that? Where did we send that? Or we still haven't posted that on Instagram?
The referral.
Yeah.
No,
I
haven't
made
sent
$64.65 yesterday.
You might have
Just
gotten an
on
email
referral.
from us last night that had that. We haven't posted it on social media yet, but
that was a nice one.
I know, and the referrals as well. You definitely have to go into the promoter program, which we spoke about the other day. But all of our referrals are really great numbers. So let's see.
What else? We've got Renat saying.
Are you just checking on Facebook or?
Oh, no, I'm doing both.
On both.
I've been handling both.
Awesome. No, I'm just wondering.
I'm good at this.
Because we've got all of them coming through here as well, if you wanted to.
Yeah. Okay, go for it. Who do you want to
I just don't know who you've asked.
Well, then we've got Cass asking, is there a guide on Zazzle where I can see the sizes for uploading the different types of products if I upload pre-made designs? Yeah, well, Cass, you're coming from Redbubble, and so therefore it's very different on Zazzle.
Well, he said yesterday that he has stuff on Zazzle as well. So
okay. So, but he said he's from Redbubble. So, and that's actually kind of a feeling that you set a certain image size, and then that works for, let's say, a cell phone, or then you have another file that works for like duvet covers and stuff like that. Whereas what we recommend is that you don't put all that work into it, because we want to generate a passive business. And so we create a version, either square or rectangular, horizontal, vertical, for a particular size range. And then at that point, once we get into a higher range, then we have another file that's a bit bigger. But otherwise, most things with like maybe a 5x7 or even 11x14 for a horizontal or for a rectangular shape sized file will fit on most products very nicely. And then only when you get to the bigger ones, like the blankets, duvet covers, and whatnot, and the big canvases, then you can move into a bigger file size, and you can work specifically with the actual dimensions that the product has, and then that's how you create your file sizes. They used to have that as a nice reference, but now they have over 1,500 products without the variations, and it's just too much for them to keep up. And so most of the file sizes are actually not always up to date. And so it's really just use this as a guide, what we just said. That would be very helpful for you, probably. Yeah. And he's coming from Amazon Cass's.
If you're more skilled in using...
Oh, sorry, Cass. Yeah, I thought you said it also on Redbubble. But yeah, Amazon, coming from Amazon is very different. As we just showed you with the design tools, so much more flexible. You can.
Well, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to say too that yesterday you mentioned that he does have stuff on Zazzle, so he does know the Zazzle design tool. But I wanted to also mention that if you are using Photoshop or any type of Illustrator program, then you can use vectors too, which will really be helpful because then you can make them as big or as small as you want.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
From Amazon.
Do you want to get Renat's question?
Which one is that?
Well, I need to make the design from the beginning for any product. I mean, if I want the simple phone case, an expensive phone case, I need to do it all over again for each product.
Okay. For each type of case, so I showed you that. I can do the screen share again. So for example, I showed you that at the beginning when I first started my cell phone cases, that they had the different types of OtterBox and then simple, etc. What I want to show you is that right now, because I've chosen Casemate, and if you scroll down, you can see the person or the company that's made the product. I've chosen Casemate because that was the type of design. So here are the styles that they offer. So if I, as the customer, come onto this barely there, I can upgrade to the higher one, and the price will be reflected. So that means that me as a designer, I don't have to make the larger or the higher priced item or the other version. They can switch in between here, as well as if, for example, they know that they see this design as the iPhone case, they can go in and they can click the different type of actual phone cases here. So if I wanted to have the iPhone XS, but that only means that they're switching in between types of phone cases within the range of products that Casemate makes. So, for example, if you wanted to now have an OtterBox case, you would have to go into the phone cases and you'd have to create the OtterBox. Sorry, I clicked on the actual designs. You would have to go in and you would have to then click on the OtterBox iPhone case, because switching in between the cell phone types, like the phone types, like iPhone X, iPhone XR, etc., because you've designed the Casemate, you're only allowed within their range. So I would recommend then going in and choosing to create now, if you wanted to, the OtterBox. And then when you click on the OtterBox, then you get the opportunity to change between their types. So you can see the Commuter series and the Defender series, whatever. And then when you create that, then they'll be able to switch between all the different types of actual phones versus, and then, to switch in between the types of phones and then switch in the types of like higher and lower price items. But you can't switch, for example, from an OtterBox to a Casemate or from an OtterBox to the LifeProof. This is very specific, obviously, to the cell phone cases. Stationery and like pillows, for example, that are much more easier. There are elements to what I just explained, but the cell phones have the most like wide range of different types of phone types and then also phone cases. So you have to do some research yourself to figure out which ones you want to do and which would be more effective for your design purposes. We won't go into more detail into the popular products which you should create in the Profit by Design Academy, so that you're not overwhelmed with all of these different types of things that you can create products on or create designs on, because there are a lot of products. We don't recommend that you create 1,500 different products because that's overwhelming, right? With one design. We want you to be efficient with your work and also do what works best for you and your business.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Cass is going to ask another question on YouTube, and I'm going to wait for it. Otherwise, we don't have any more questions, except that Susan asked if she could open up her Zazzle store using the same name that she uses for Etsy. And I think that's very important that you say that you do that. And the answer is yes, because we very much always promote the fact that you need to have a brand that's on the internet as a whole. So the more you can make the same, the better. So your Instagram account, your Facebook account, your Pinterest account, also your Etsy account, and your Zazzle store name should all be the same, because that allows the customer to feel really comfortable because it's all the same. So they know, oh, okay, so she's on Instagram or she's on this. And she also has a store on Etsy and she has a store on Zazzle. Cool. But if you made these all different, then the customer would have to be educated to really understand what it is that is happening, that you are the owner of all these different stores and places where things are happening. So it's highly recommended that you continue to keep your name if it's possible. Yeah. Okay. So let's see now. We've gotten some questions. Fantastic. We'll start with Cass. I have some t-shirt designs where the basic image is the same, and I just changed the text. For example, mom of the birthday girl gets changed to mom to grandma, etc. Okay. So I guess we need more of the question.
Team Clark put in, oh, that's right, that Team Clark's on Facebook. Maybe there's a part 2 to your question.
Yeah, go
but
ahead,
I
Cass,
think that
keep
that's
going.
perfectly fine. Like that way you would actually create a template, which I showed you on the cell phone case, but instead of on a cell phone case, it's on a t-shirt, obviously. So mom of the birthday girl would be your template, and then you can either create the products yourself, like individually, where you create different versions of them, or you can also make it very clear in your description when you're posting your product for sale that the text can be modified to something different.
And I think that they're all very different products and they should all be posted separately. And if you put those as templates, yes, that's an opportunity, but you should also post them separately so that very clearly in the title it says what the t-shirt is for. Like, what did you say? Grandma,
mom of the birthday girl.
Mom of the girl. Yeah. And because you're attracting a different market. And if that one market that was looking for a very specific one didn't realize that they had to choose or find a template version of yours where you could switch it all out, they wouldn't be able to find it and buy it. So that's one place where, like, that example is actually really cool, because it means that, and anyone else who has the same issue, you use your one design and then you make the variations of it. Just like with the cell phone case, we said right away, you don't say, okay, now this is a Christmas gift and this is a birthday gift and a baby shower gift. They're not the same. But you would then maybe take that hello Jennifer and you would change it. Maybe you'd put in a picture of a baby in the background of the whole design set rather than the purple. And then it could easily be a baby shower gift, because it's a picture of the baby. It's hello to the world, right? Because she's new, she's a baby, and the baby's name's Jennifer. So then all of a sudden it truly is a baby shower gift, personalized monogrammed photo baby shower gift. And so this is how you can take your core design and create so many different variations that are very target specific. And for you, Cass, if you have the images all ready to go from Amazon, just upload them. You don't have to worry about creating these templates that we just talked about. Let the customer just find the images as they are. But then if you want to add your name, like a name component, like add whatever name you want to use as your standard, try not to everybody use Jennifer, because that was what Jennifer and we used those to start with, and we based the M and the Jennifer and Anderson and Matthew spelt incorrectly. Everyone who's using those names, you're just using the same ones, and it doesn't make sense. Like, stand out, make yourself
13
known.
years ago, I didn't know Jennifer would be so popular on the internet.
That wasn't popular back then. We made it popular. So you make your brand popular. You use your own specific name that works for you, so that you stand out and go, oh, that's that person's design. And that makes so much more sense, because otherwise you're just in the sea of sameness. But yeah, so Cass, if that's what you wanted to do, if you just put those designs up, if they're an image with all the words already on them, because you've already done the work. You want passive income, right? You don't want to have more work. And then if you wanted to do a second design where you actually add the same image, but then you have a place where you add a name, just like Jen showed you with the templates now, that'd be awesome, because now you have two products that are of the same design that are selling for you. And then you can see by A/B testing which one works better on the Zazzle marketplace. And then you'll know further down whether you always do something like personalization, or if you just stick to adding your designs as well, because that also sells as, we've had both work for us. So, okay, what else do we have?
I don't know. Danielle, can you share about creating a brand design and brand naming? I put together a monogram with my artwork to create a nice brand design. With doing a brand design with a name, then would I lock the design and not allow for customization, as in not letting anyone edit my text? You touched on locking feature, which is another question of earlier. It all depends on how you want your artwork to be manipulated, I guess, on the product. I would not suggest locking your product image if you have if it could potentially be sold on a different product. And I mean that because when you create a product, you are also creating a possibility for someone to create a different version of it. So let's go back here to my iPhone case that I created, right? And when you scroll down, you can see transfer this design to another product. More than likely, because I've said it and it's quite simple of a design, these products will all be pretty much okay. You can see here, though, the flash drive at the end, the text is falling off. Here on the wallet case, it's the same, the case here. I do sell, and Elke does sell, a lot of designs from people who are customers who come across our cell phone case and then they realize, oh, I can actually buy it on an OtterBox case. This is kind of following up with the question that was asked earlier, if you need to make those designs on physically every single product. This is a really great opportunity for the customer to actually choose their product that they want and then transfer it themselves. So as soon as they click on this OtterBox case, my design is going to be transferred over and they can either buy it, and then I personally, because I'm a designer and I'm logged in, I can actually also sell it. So that's also an easy way for you to transfer your design to different products. However, if you do have, for example, things locked and you see that hello is just actually right below the little Apple symbol, if I had it slightly up and I had locked that, that means that if someone decided to buy the OtterBox case, then the hello would be cut off and the design wouldn't work. So because it's not locked, me as let's say I'm a potential customer, what I could do is, if they know how to do this, they're able to go in and say, okay, I actually want the hello to be slightly different, and push down. Then because it's not locked, they're able to do that. When we talk about locking, you see over here on the left-hand side, you can click on this button. And when you click on the lock button for Jennifer, for example, you're not actually allowed to move it. Like I can't. There's that little like zero with the strike through. This one I can do whatever I want with it. But even because I have locked it myself as the designer, I can't move it around in my design. So if you have a pattern or an image that you want locked and it actually looks good specifically in that space on the product, then you can lock it. But if you want it to be able to be transferred to another design, as soon as you lock it, that means that it has to be in that exact same position. And as you noticed here with, for example, the flash drive and things at the bottom, when I scrolled over, it looks very odd. Like no one's going to buy that because the text is off to the side, and same with this one here. So you as the designer, you have to make that decision on whether or not you want to lock certain items and if it's good for your brand. For example, artists, they will create a logo or a signature, and sometimes they will put it on the back of the product if it's possible, and you can lock that. So it means that whenever somebody buys your product with your artwork on it or your photography, then the person receiving the product will see that it's from you, and your signature will always be on the product and they aren't able to remove it. However, if you want to do that, you have to make that decision yourself. But I can't tell you the perfect answer because each product, as we spoke about before, they have different layouts of what the product dimensions are, what pieces are showing, what pieces aren't showing. So there's no real set in stone, like 5x5 square that I can say it will look perfect on every product. You have to make that decision yourself as the designer.
Did you answer Stephanie's question about vectors?
No.
Okay.
She says, vectors are iffy. What do you recommend for creating graphics? I create all my graphics as a PNG, just because that's what I personally prefer. I then have to obviously make sure that the dimensions are good and proper for the products. Zazzle is really good at making sure that you get a warning sign. For example, if you put an image that's smaller and then you start to blow it up and make it bigger to fit the product, let's say bedding or a shower curtain, if you don't have a proper size for it, it'll give you a little warning sign and it'll actually tell you should not post this product for sale because it will probably be blurry. But I just use PNGs. So if you want to do that, then you can do that. You just have to make sure that all your vectors or your graphics or your PNGs are properly sized for the product, because you don't want a product that won't look good. Okay, I think that's it, no? In terms of the questions, unless there's anything else, but we want to wrap up this presentation. Thank you so much for staying.
We want to do a little bit of something else too.
Yeah.
Some people have asked us about the opportunities to be part of the Profit by Design Academy, and so we've agreed to review that at the end of this. So if you'd like to stay for that and see how that might be helpful for you, then give us a couple more minutes and we'll just explain what the Profit by Design Academy is all about.
Yeah, so I'm just going to move over here to our presentation, and then I'm going to share the screen. Thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully you learned a lot from my tutorial. Even if you are an advanced Zazzle designer, I'm sure that you have learned something today, because every time that I go into the design tool on Zazzle, I'm able to play around and find something new to do, and you never stop learning. So even if you have been on Zazzle for a long time, then what happened there?
What? My goodness! Just give me a second. I'm moving all over my screen, my slides thing. Yeah. Okay. Go for it. I didn't mean to just cut you off.
No. I saw that you were scrolling. Like, I don't know what was happening.
Because I had slides that you didn't use, so I was just moving forward to where I needed to be.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you just went right from one to the other, and you went into the second tutorial right in the same tutorial. So it's okay. I just had a little pause in between there to help you.
No, not a problem.
Help us. I'm so organized.
Not a problem.
Okay. So so go for it. You were saying something.
Oh, I just said that even if you are a seasoned Zazzle designer, going on the Zazzle design tool and playing around with things, you always learn something new. Yeah. And so thank you very much for sticking around with us and watching the tutorial that we did today, because I know that each and every one of you have learned something from what we did.
Yes, so some of you are students already. And this is taught in the Profit by Design Academy, just so you know, but it's fun to hear it again. And it's important to hear it again, because I need to hear stuff like about 4 or 5 times before I go like, oh, now I've really got this. And so this is awesome. And if for anyone who's brand new and just trying to figure out Zazzle, that's what we're here to do. And please join us for the next challenge as well next week, because it keeps getting deeper and more informative, because we want to start you out slowly, make sure you really got this part down, because this is how our course starts out as well. We start you with go to Zazzle.com. And then after that, we show you how to open up your store. So even if you missed this one or didn't catch everything from this one, it's in the Profit by Design Academy, which is our signature course, which we're going to talk about right now. But before we do that, I want to just tell you that tomorrow, I know that Cass already said he can't join, but he can watch the replay and ask questions then. But there's going to be a really great bonus mini masterclass that we're holding tomorrow. It's going to tell you the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid when starting your online Zazzle business. It's a mini master class because you're going to be listening. I'm going to be talking. Jen will be talking, but we are not doing more like interactive stuff. We are here to help you get that information so that you can avoid making those mistakes. Okay, so then are you ready for more? And some of you have already said that. And so we are taking this time, even though we've gone quite far over, to give you that information in case you need it. If there's ever any questions or you want more information about anything that we do that's a paid option for you, you're more than welcome to email us, post in the Facebook group, on YouTube, whatever you need to do in order for you to get the answers, right? Cass was like, thank you so much for answering another one of my questions. Go for it. This is your business. You need to take control and ask those questions and get the help you need. And maybe that's even paid help, because why not move forward? There's some students that are currently making $5,000 to $10,000 a month because they took the leap of faith and invested in themselves. So here is your chance to see what we have to offer at our entry level. So if you want to start and scale now, then I've got this introducing drum roll. Well, because people forget that that we've had 13 years in which we figured this out. the first couple of years were not so fun. And if you're at that position now where you're going to start and you're going to try this all by yourself, then this could be very difficult for you and you may give up. You may not be so happy, or you've already experienced that and you're not happy, but you're just trying to figure out why isn't it working for you. And here you are, and you're getting this opportunity just to realize that two Zazzle designers, not anyone else so far. In fact, luckily we're good at what we do, but we're the only ones that are teaching others. Everyone else is very guarded with regards to what they know and do on Zazzle because they feel like there's a lack. Whereas we are currently still making money on Zazzle, and we're teaching everything that we know, depending on what program or coaching program or course you take. There's going to be different levels and different details, because you can't have all the information all at once, because it's just going to be overwhelming. You won't even hear it. However, we have actually had so many students go through the program now, and the courses and the coaching, that we are so happy and excited for them. There is abundance in this world, and there is abundance on Zazzle. Every one of our students that's doing well also was in the same position you are now. What should I do? Should I keep doing it on my own, or should I listen to this course and implement the strategies that Jen and Elke always talk about? And should I get more help with them, like maybe some coaching? How is it going to help me get to where I want to go in my business? That's what you should be asking yourself. Okay, so the course that I'm talking about, and we've already talked about a bit as well, with how this is what we do in the Profit by Design Academy. If you heard that throughout the presentation, then you'll know that this is the course that we're talking about. And it's for you if you want to start and scale your Zazzle business to your first 5K month. Now, what does that mean? That means that you'll be making like $50,000 or $60,000 if you made that $5,000 every month. Now, I'm not saying that you can do that all on your own in the Profit by Design Academy. The reason is because we've had 3 years worth of people going through the courses, and we know that even with our business, it took us a while to establish our business. But boy, our students are doing so much better and so much quicker than we ever did when we did it all on our own. And so it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. And I want anyone who thinks it is to just leave now, because it's not important. We can't help you. There are people online that say, "Oh, in a month I made $100,000." That's not happening in this business unless you have like a runaway bestseller, which all the more power to you if you have that. But we're not making any sort of incomplete statements like that. This is a long-term passive income business that you're going to build up, and even use Zazzle as a way to build out your brand and become more of like an online presence, rather than just trying to make a few dollars on Zazzle. And so this is very important that you hear that message before we get started. But if you're interested, then first of all, you can go to elkeclarke.com/start and scale right away and check all the details out, or you can get a little bit more of an overview. And that's what we're going to do here, just to help you out. I'm not going to take more than 5 minutes. Okay, so this course is set up as a self-study course. Step-by-step videos are there. They're all open for you. You can do it at your own pace. And the 10 modules have quite a lot of videos that are all kind of short and easy to digest, and downloadables that you can use to follow along and literally implement your business as you're doing the course. Then that is what the course does. It implements the 5 strategies through these 10 modules. And it's the same strategies that Jen and I have used to create our $1 million Zazzle businesses. And the way you do it is you watch the step-by-step video tutorials, self-paced. The sooner you get them done, the better, though, because basically you're not just watching, you're also doing. And what you're going to do is also use all of the things that we give you that are really, really important. We talk about the 5 strategies that are there for you to use as a whole for setting up your business. But then we also give you strategies for how to set up your categories, how to do collections, how to promote on Pinterest, how to promote on Instagram, how to set up your website, how to create your production strategy. All of these things that you would say, okay, well, I'm lost, I don't know what to do. They're all there for you in this course. And that's the really nice part about it. Just follow the course and you will move forward. And then when you complete the course, you'll have set up and started scaling your Zazzle business. So Oh, I already made that slide twice. Okay, that's really to make me remember to tell you this is what you can get out of the course. And the sooner you get the course done, the sooner this will start to happen to you. And there are variables such as COVID-19 and buying cycles of people. Like if you made all kinds of Easter stuff now, it wouldn't sell till next Easter. So don't come back and say, I made all these products, you told me to make them, but now they're not selling. So you have to run your business very strategically and logically, but you use these 5 strategies that are taught in the Profit by Design Academy, and you will have your business set up and start not only have it set up, but you'll start scaling your business to your first 5K month. And if you are ready to invest, there are 2 payment options for you. There's a one-time payment option, which is obviously going to save you money. It's $1,997. Then if you'd like the payment option, there's a 6-month option, which is $382 per month for 6 months. If you do the math, that's actually a lot more than the $1,997. So I recommend the $1,997. And that is actually not the cost it needs to be or the price it needs to be. This is like an MBA for Zazzle. And if you go to college and you learn how to run a business that's going to generate you money, you're going to pay a lot more for this. So this is a steal. Now, there's this VIP experience down below, which is very important because some people said, hey, I'm not really a self-study kind of person. I know that you're going to give me all this information, but I'll probably just leave it and not get to it. And so we implemented a VIP experience where we're not only bringing you through the course, but we're also making you feel very like in control, because there's going to be a coaching element to it. So, and you're going to definitely move through the material faster, and you're going to have questions, and those questions are going to be answered in a coaching group setting. And then you're going to get through and start getting results faster than your first K month. Like it's going to come up faster your first 5K month. And so the idea here is that if you can do the self-study, but if you go and you're part of the VIP experience, you get the course, which you can do self-study and you always have access to it. But also you're going to get 8 weeks of coaching, which will be in a group format plus 1 individual one-on-one group coaching call with us, which is really awesome. Okay, so you're not only going to get the group coaching calls, which are going to be 6 90-minute calls that are going to happen over an 8-week period, but you're also going to get VIP access to, private Voxer access or some other way that we can communicate by phone, which means that you can ask questions that just pop up, right? Like this morning, some of our coaching clients that have been are in this experience, they asked us a question about, what was it? It was, you answered it. So
it was just about posting a product for sale, and then also in the types of tags and how you can add tags to the product.
Yeah, even though we teach that, and they can go look it up, and there's an opportunity for you to ask questions in the course material, then sometimes you're just kind of stuck. And because you're paying this extra, you're getting this coaching opportunity where you can ask those questions. And as long as it's within like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time, we're going to answer. And if we see that you're posted any other time, then maybe we will answer if we are able to, but otherwise it's not, we have to also have some time off. But really, this is very, very important because we're here to help you get your business started. I have so many courses that I started, and all they are is the self-study part, and I'm still at the beginning. And so we know from experience that if you have someone to guide you, and for you to have the person there who's the expert who goes, well, I see that you're doing this, but it looks like this could even be more lucrative. How much money is that worth to you? How many products could you sell, and how much more money could you make if you had that extra coaching as part of this entire experience? And then, as speaking of coaching, we're also going to give each one of you that signs up for this a private one-on-one coaching call. These are that we charge $1,000 an hour for these calls, and you're getting it as part of this package. So it's a $6,500 value, and you're paying, is it the price next? No, where was the price? Okay, you're paying $6,667 for not only the coaching package, which is worth $6,500, and the course, which is $1,997. So this is a really great opportunity, and the people who have taken it have just been floored by how little they knew and how much they're so thankful now that they do know, so they can really dive in and get to the pieces that matter, set up things now to profit quicker, faster. And that is really important. So if you want to go to elkeclarke.com/start and scale, you'll see a lot more information about what's in the courses, what bonuses we have, because we have a whole bunch of bonuses, and also check out what's involved in the VIP experience. And we're always here to take a private call and check with you, like for 15 minutes, just chat. What's your goal? What are you really hoping for? When do you want to achieve it? And then we'll let you know, because we're not here to sell the course. We're here to help you. And enrollment is open. And whether you purchase or not, it just depends on how soon you want to be able to do this and make this work for you. We've also turned people away because we said, well, either this, you're better off on your own for now based on your situation, or this is not something that you should invest in right now because of certain things, right? Get more through, let's say the VIP is not the thing for them right now, just the course, and then come back and see us in 2 months from now. And then we've had all these different ways of ending the conversation. When we have a conversation with you, it's not a hard sell. We're here to make sure that you are able to flourish on Zazzle and get the goal that you want. Some people have a goal of $1,000 a month. Some people have a goal of $5,000 a month. Some people have a goal of $10,000 a month. We're here to serve you in whatever capacity that is. And that's what I love about Zazzle. It's self-paced. So if you're not interested in getting the most out of the next 5 months, because it's going to be the most amazing Christmas season ever, it's going to be the best, then that's okay. Because even though you might just have felt the pressure right there, if you're not ready, then don't worry. Do it at your own pace. But if you are just like your ears perked up and it's like, what do you mean the best season ever? Sometimes I've made over $30,000 in 1 month because I positioned myself really well for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. And so within the October, November, December sales months, I could sometimes be making $20,000 to $30,000 a month take home, not sales, take home. And so if you're interested in understanding that a little bit more and figuring out how you could get there, then you can chat with us for sure. Now, another bonus that we're going to throw in to make sure that you are just so committed to this VIP experience is, and I've had it on this page for a while because there's a lot of text, but you'll go like, what the heck is this? Well, when COVID started in March, by April, Jen and I had set out a 40-page document that told people step by step how they can flourish in this time of shift and change with COVID. And people implemented things that we taught in this pivot guide. And within the next month, they had been making sales like 5,000 to 10,000 a month, which they had never made in their life, even though they were part of our coaching program before. They maybe made 3 to 4, and all of a sudden they were making like double, triple. And so here's an opportunity for you. I can't make any income claim statements. You have to do the work. You have to implement it. You have to leverage it. But you have access to this document. We're going to throw it in. It's $1,000 value in addition to that. So that means that all of these payments that you have as an option to either invest to access the self-study Profit by Design Academy or the VIP experience are so lucrative for you. And please consider it as an investment, not as a lot of money, because as you've just heard, and these are not made up numbers, these are students that we've already promoted in our social media accounts since the beginning of March that have made incredible strides and incredible sales. And if that's something that really perks your interest, then have a chat with us and see. If you're not totally committed and just want to sign up, if you just want to know whether this is something you can do, we're here to answer your questions. But otherwise, sign up. Let's get started. We're all for action, taking action, putting in the 5 strategies, implementing them into your business, and making sure that you are doing as well as you can on Zazzle. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the end, and then we are just going to see you tomorrow at on day 4. But and I forgot to say, but before we finish, I just want to say one more time, please go to elkeclarke.com/start and scale. Check out your options and see if it's of interest to help your business move forward, to work with us. So thank you so much for watching today, and see you tomorrow.
Okay, I'll stop screen share. And yeah, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Go to elkeclarke.com/start and scale. The link is in the chat, and we would love to have you in the Profit by Design Academy. Bye.
And Cass is still on. Awesome. See you.